Recording.
Okay.
This is my water.
Yes.
All right. Back at it. Route104 here today with one of my favorite people. Here with a woman of faith. One, maybe. You consider yourself a woman of faith. A daughter. A friend. One of the realest. A true friend. A caring person. A role model to a lot. A few. Many.
Okay.
A whole heck of a lot. A prevention specialist. What else? You know, all the things.
The intro was giving.
Sister.
Yeah.
You know, not nobody's woman at the moment, but you know, all in all, an amazing human being that I'm excited to talk to and hopefully provide some connections with for other people. So with all of that being said, welcome Aloni Hardrick.
Hey, that is so funny. Nobody's woman is crazy.
Well, nobody's
Very
woman,
true.
but you know, one of these days,
Right.
somebody,
Hey.
you're a lot of people's somebody, but
Man.
just not his. You know, just not his yet. So anything that I miss?
No. You actually said something that I wouldn't say.
What was that?
Sister.
A sister friend.
Yeah. I wouldn't have said that.
No.
I'm not going to talk about myself. I probably would have just said, hey, y'all, it's Aloni.
Mm-hmm. Hey y'all, it's Aloni.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a lot of those. Hey y'all, that's really how you come into the room.
That's every time.
Yep. So who is Aloni Hardrick then? Those are the key things that stick out in my mind. But who is Aloni Hardrick?
I would say those things. I would say one thing about me is like, I don't know. I'm all those things, but yet still a private, like, goofy person. I still consider myself a young adult. Like, I'm just a young adult. I'm just getting through life.
Yeah, you are young.
Yeah.
Very young. Still at it. Still figuring life out. I got a lot of questions based around that, actually.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
This one specifically, I wanted to talk with Aloni mainly because of all those things that I said, because Aloni is an amazing person and amazing people really do interest me. Aloni reminds me a lot of Tanisha, my wife, and they have very similar characteristics in how they kind of see and go about attacking the world. So I would say Aloni is one of the most positive people that I know. And not that, you know, negativity doesn't creep in with everybody, but somehow she's just very positive, and I think that's why so many people are drawn to you. So with that in mind, how does one who continually like serves others stay so positive? You're always serving others, and yet it doesn't seem to weigh on you. How do you stay so positive, and where does it come from?
Well, it used to come from me just thinking that I was a social person. Like, oh, I'm just so happy. I like talking to people. Then I started to, like, as I got older, I think that I empathize with people a lot. I always try to put myself in other people's shoes. And so there are a lot of situations that I don't understand because I'm blessed and I'm fortunate. And because I don't understand it, I always just try to have a positive outlook on life because it could be me that, you know, is experiencing something different. But also my faith, like, there's always, like I just said, it could always be worse. I try to always remind people that there's hope, you know, things can change, things can be different. And I don't know, I just don't see the point in being negative all the time. And people be needing that. People be needing somebody to remind them of the things that they probably don't want to think of, just because in the moment it's easy to be like down or talk negative. But it's just like, you know, turn that phone upside down. Like, we don't even got to think about that. But I think sometimes that's my downfalls. I'm very simple, straight to the point. I don't overthink. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people overthink, and then they get into their feelings and in the weeds and stuff, and it goes negative. And I'm just, okay, let's focus on this one positive thing. Leave all the other stuff behind. Don't focus on that. So I don't know where it comes from. That's just how I am, I guess.
Perfect. All right. So with that, positivity, doesn't know where it comes from. It comes from some life experiences. It comes from some places. Maybe it comes from, youth to youth. That's where we are right now. It comes from all those positive life experiences that you had, whether that be in the church and youth to youth, in school, around family members who are also extremely positive.
Yeah.
My grandma. Your grandma definitely stands out as somebody that you take a lot from. And with all of that in mind, like you are really one of the realest people. And I'm drawn to real people, just in life. If you look at my closest friends, the people the woman I married, I'm really drawn to people that can keep it real. And we've talked a lot personally about friendship over the years. What does friendship mean to you? Like true friendship?
To me, it's when you're in a relationship where you can be yourself, where you can say how you feel, whether it be uncomfortable, challenging, scary. But it's like it's a fun challenge where I can come in and be myself, but if it's ever too much, if you ever don't have space, like we can say that. I've had tests to that, and every time I do that, and it's like, yeah, this is what this means to me. Like, let's have the good times, let's laugh, let's joke, but let's also be able to tell each other the hard things, and support each other. So those two things, yeah.
But what happens when the hard things are too hard? Like for the realest person,
yeah.
Like you can say the hard things.
Right.
You can take it because you're real, but what about the other person? Like when you express your feelings and you have this realness in you, I feel like that's where I end up at a lot of times, is like, I think I can say something because I'm just real. Like, yeah. I think what I say you can take, and because it comes from the right place, or maybe it's something that somebody doesn't want to hear. How do you navigate that when you may be one of the realest of the people that you're talking to?
That's what I'm learning right now. And I don't know if I lack empathy. I don't want to say I lack empathy because I don't, but in certain situations, for my best friend, for instance, we are so much alike, but we're so different. So she is extremely emotional and she's very gentle, and I'm more abrupt and just straight to the point. So we'll be talking and I'll say something and she'll be like, that hurt my feelings. And I'm like, why? Yeah. I just said it. She's like, okay, Aloni, but this and the third. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I just need to dial back. Or then I'm like, okay, I won't say nothing. She's like, no, don't, you can still say something. I'm like, okay, well, tell me where my space is. Like, tell me what's too far and what's, just enough for you to feel comfortable. But then sometimes I have to tell her, no, you need to hear this. But then I have to tell myself, if you were her, or if the roles were reversed, if she's telling you, like, this is too much for me, or I can't receive that, then I just have to dial back. I mean, not take away from what I'm saying, but my delivery, I think I can I'm not black and white, but it is what it is and it's not what it's not. So why would I sit here and try to sugarcoat it? But I have to meet people where they are. So I think that's what I'm working on right now, is meeting people where they are, still speaking the truth, telling people they need to hear, but maybe just not, girl, no, But, okay, so I don't think, or asking people, do you want my opinion? Do you want it to be, how I would tell you, or how you want me to tell you? Because my friends know the difference.
Yes. So, like I said, Lonnie reminds me a lot about my wife. She, Jesus, people. So one of the questions I asked her the other day, maybe I should just go to her question list and
I'm
ask
screaming.
you these questions. Where is it at? Boom, boom, boom. I basically asked you like, why people don't like you?
I'm so weak.
Why people that don't know you don't like you, but the people that know you absolutely like love and adore you, right? What is it about the real ones? People don't like me either. That don't know me.
Yeah.
What is it? Now like people like think that I hate them. And it's not just a face that I be making, but what is it about the real ones that I don't know? Is only certain people drawn to people like us, and like only people that can take what you give?
Yeah.
Or
I think the people that respect it and the people who admire it, are drawn. But the people who are intimidated by it and envy it, they turn it into, oh, I don't like her. I'm too happy, or there's no way she's not doing this. Like, you're mad. You don't even know me. Like,
right, don't tell me I'm mad.
This just can't be possible.
Right.
I can't just be this way without whatever you're making up in your head, which I don't care. Make up whatever you want. But I've noticed that it sounds really bad to say, but it's true. The people who don't like me, if they could navigate the world like me, they would. But it's just like,
they don't think they can pull it off.
I don't know what they think, but it's just every time something comes up where if anybody asks me what the problem is, I'm like, it's almost the same thing. The people make up how I move in their head. Like, they just make up these things. They make assumptions
assume the
about
worst
me.
Or assume your thoughts and intentions.
Yeah, and then after they're done, it's like nothing can change it. Like, even if
you tell them,
even if 10 people came up to you and said, no, I know Aloni, she would never, it's no. They want me to be this person that I'm not. So it's just like, I'm not going to beg you to like me.
Right.
You could think what you want. Because what I've learned is there are enough people who do know me that when they hear certain things or see, they would be like, oh, what? She would never. And that's cool.
Yeah, it's like the work version of you. Everybody, like when you turn on the work version of you, which is not an actual version of you. Like,
right.
It's actually you, but you're, the bubbly, like, people are easily drawn to you, and I feel like that's similar for me. But it's like when I'm out in the real world, like, I don't know, maybe it's not that it's a safe space to be that way or whatnot, but often, people seem to be deterred they have those hard conversations and immediately are like, oh, no, that's not for me.
Yeah. But I don't know. Because, I mean, I've, as a Black young woman, learning how, stepping into adulthood and womanhood, I've already had instances at work where I'm like, all right, tone it down here. This is not going to be received well.
What? By white women or white men?
Yes.
Or men?
Men.
All other people.
Everybody else.
No one, Black women,
only
white.
the aunties would get it, okay?
Yeah.
But, like, don't change who you are, but know that this won't be received well. And then I still said it in a different way, and it still wasn't received well.
Yeah.
So, the same thing outside of here. Like, I try to meet people where they are, but I refuse to change who I am or what I'm saying to you. I be trying to meet people where they are, but some people, they want it to be. That's what I'm saying. People want you to be this person. They want you to try to hurt their feelings. You're trying to hurt me, Aloni. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I love that. You know what? Maybe that's what I love about you is that you're the most positive person, maybe one of the most positive people I know, and you make people cry. Like, one could say that those two things that they can't go together. but
Man.
I've watched you make someone cry.
I will never forget. Please don't. Listen. She tweaked.
Yeah.
I said nothing crazy. I said nothing out of
But
line.
then, even that, you've had to have made other people cry.
No, some people have said,
oh, I don't like that.
I'm intimidated by you. And it's like, why? I haven't done, we've never even had altercations. You see the way I interact with other people and now you're intimidated by me. What does that have to do with me?
Yeah. All right.
I will never forgive her for trying to make it seem like I really was trying to play her.
All right. So you said, talking a lot about your work experience. I think we'll get into a little bit of that, but can you share a little bit about your experience so far navigating your 20s and some of the challenges you faced, kind of all encompassing, like personal life, work life, school, whatever comes to mind? Like, what's your 20s experience been so far? And you say you're growing and learning, and I mean, that's what the 20s are for. I think a lot of times society tells us that we need to have it kind of figured out by 24, 25, right, when, that's when we're graduating from school. Now you've been in the work for a while and now you're supposed to have life together. And that's just not realistic for even me and Tanisha. Like, we got married at 23, had our first child at 24. Like,
yeah, y'all did that because, oh my.
But we weren't ready. Like, and there was a lot, all the same stuff that you're figuring out. Mm-hmm. We were still figuring that out. We just had to figure it out with a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what's the 20s like? What's the experience? What are the challenges?
20s. I want to say the first thing that I experienced in my 20s that was challenging for me was leaving school, because when I left college, I experienced this low waiting period of like, okay, I left school. Of course, I'm not finna just be at home with no job. So then I started working at a rec center, and it was with kids. Loved them, but I wasn't getting paid. Mm-hmm. And so I was watching, my friends still in school or people starting businesses, and I'm sitting here at the front desk at Westgate getting paid $10. Yeah. So that was hard for me, but I would sit at the front desk and kind of, just write down the things that I wanted, and I just had to be patient and know, like, okay, eventually, girl, you're going to have a different job. You're going to be in a better space. And then, I went to teach at Berwick, another job that was like, okay, I don't know. It's somewhat, I like it, but I don't want to be here forever. So I was still waiting. I was still watching, trying not to compare myself. I'm not going to say I wasn't or I was, but I was just trying not to. Then you called me. So I started working here, and I will never forget.
Not for Rigby Media.
Oh, right. I started working at UTU, and I will never forget when one of the students asked me, like, she was like, I'm glad you dropped out of college.
Oh.
And I was like,
too real for a realist.
And she was like, well, if you wouldn't have dropped out, I wouldn't have met you. And I was like, facts. Like,
maybe.
I like that, the way she put it. So that for me was hard because I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. I have a loving mother, loving grandparents who I'm always, put up for the most part. And so for the first time after being on my own in school, coming back, I'm like, dang, you ain't got no money. You working this job. These kids stress you out. Like, girl, what are you doing? So that was tough for me because I just didn't know what was next. I didn't know what was coming, but anytime I got an opportunity, I was, I wasn't just jumping at anything, but I was still like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. And then, of course, as you know, I talked to you about this for the first time after going to high school with the same group of girls for 4 years and then going to college together. And now we're 22, 23 years old, and we going through real life situations, and now you're not here for me. Now you got, you talking to your other friends, and when life happens to me, you don't show up for me, but I've always showed up for you. Navigating that, being the confrontational friend, it's like, oh Lord, here she goes. She trying to fight. No, I just want to know why you ain't here for me no more. Like, it hurt. I mean, and it was the longest friendship breakup ever.
Yeah.
It's gone on for so many years, but
it was like, y'all still want to be friends.
Yes.
Both y'all still want to be friends.
We still want to be friends. So it was
but
like, why aren't we?
Figure it out.
Like, why aren't we friends then? So another thing that I struggled with was like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm perfect and you're the one that's making all the mistakes, but you're the one that's making all the mistakes. Like, I'm showing up, I'm trying, and you're not. And it was really hard. And that was the first time that I had experienced real turmoil in my friendships. Me and my best friend, it was like, we left college. She's really, she's big on communication. And there was a period of time where I was being such a bad friend. I was just like, I don't want to talk. But she see me out kicking it with people in Columbus. And then she got in her feelings. I'm like, girl, I live here. I'm not about to sit in my room, but I don't want to talk. Like, I was just going through it. So trying to navigate your personal life and then friendships and then relationships. I was in a relationship for 4 years, and boom, through prayer, I just realized it wasn't for me at the time. So I turned 22. No, I turned 23 and stuff just started boom, boom, boom. Like, how are you going to handle this? Who can you call on? Who's there to support you? How can you support yourself? Like, Aloni, what are you going to do when life starts happening to you? I'm always there for other people, but when it's your turn, like, what you going to do? And all in all, I cried in my room. Like, I prayed and I cried in my room. And that's really when my relationship with God got really, close. I was at church. I was, fasting, praying, because I really was like, I cannot do this on my own. Every time I try, I end up in the same spot, square one. Still mad, still sad, like, still confused. So 20s, it really gave, like, it's still giving, learning and unlearning, I'm not going to say that because I'm still working on that.
You still working on the forget?
Yeah. I'm really struggling.
So how do you think the societal expectations that we put on, young people who are approaching their 20s, so you think about the kids that we work with, we start asking them, what are you going to do for a living when they're 7, right?
Not fact.
And that this pressure of, what are you going to go to school for? What are you going to do after high school? And then what, and then what, and then what? All those societal expectations. How are you currently? So you had this in your mind, whether you wanted to be a firefighter or a
dental
hygienist at the age of whatever, you were convinced that you wanted to be a dental hygienist because you like to see people smile.
100%.
Right. So, and then, boom, all of a sudden that's not for you. How do you navigate the process of self-discovery and finding yourself and like what you want to be in life, not just for a job and a career, but what do you want your life to be like? Because everything that we thought we knew is like, now we're here and that's not what it is.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, this might not hit for everybody, but you either got to have mad trust in yourself or trust in something else. Like God, I don't know, whoever people worship, but you have to either trust yourself to be able to go with your gut and say, okay, this is really what I want and go after it. But that's scary. It's so scary. Like, I will never forget calling my grandma and telling her, I don't think I want to do this. But I didn't want to tell her that because I knew everybody expected me to.
Dental hygienist stuff or school? What you were going to school for?
Just school in general. But I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't know what I want to do, but every single time you tell somebody something is changing, you have, before you can change anything, you have to have a full plan set up. It's like, girl, I don't even know what I'm eating for dinner tomorrow. How you think I'm supposed to know where I'm going to be working? Like, I don't know. But I know that I don't like this feeling. I know that I'm not happy. I know that I cry myself to sleep every night. So either it's going to be like, Aloni, you don't like this, so you better get up and go do something else. Or, Lord, please give me the strength to go do something else because you and I both know that I do not want to do this anymore. And I just don't think what I've experienced is a lot of, what's the word? Projection. People, is that the word? Yeah. Their fears. A lot of adults project their fears onto us, and they're like, you have to do this because
their fears,
I'm scared.
Their fears of what you're going to not become.
Right.
And their regret of how their life didn't work out, maybe the way that,
they wanted it to, or whatever.
Tells you, yeah.
And that's why I tell people all the time, I'm very open, but I'm very private, but I'm very selective on who I seek wise counsel from. Because people will tell you whatever, all because of their life story. Yeah. Like, girl, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. And you've been there, done that. So, whatever. But I think that's just all it is. And then through that comes anger. I mean, my mom has even said stuff to me at times. I'm like, what you so mad for? Mm-hmm. And it's like all of that it's because of your life experience. And so I think people just put us in this box and expect us to move this way. High school, college, job, when the reality of it is, Mom, you didn't go to college. I did. And I see that people graduate after 4 years and still don't have a job 2 years after they graduate.
12 years, 30 years.
Like, what? And so because I'm seeing it, you didn't see it. Yeah. You based off what you think it is, I was really living it. So I'm telling you, respectfully, keep that to yourself. Yeah. I appreciate it, but no.
Yeah, for me, I think the college experience is, unless you're going to school for the thing that like guarantees tripling your salary, like immediately getting a job and then tripling what you would make without having done that, like all the rest of it. Like if you ain't a doctor or a lawyer or a dent, like if you're not one of those top tier things, like then you're just going to be paying back college loans for the next 100%. However many years. And maybe you're happy, maybe you're not. But most of the time I feel like, we could be doing what we like doing without the education system the way that it's set up currently. Mm-hmm. So it's really about the experience. Do I want my kids to go to college? Absolutely. For the experience of that time while it's there. I want them to take advantage of the experience that can be had. And if they don't like it, then that's cool. Yeah. Right. But that's another opportunity to do something outside of what you have always known, but not just to go to learn, not just to go to get a job afterwards. Right. That's not what I'm interested in for them or really for anybody. I went to college and got a communication degree, and what is that for? Mm-hmm. Nothing. I'm still paying. I just got done paying my student loans. Period. So then we have people that 20s, 30s, whatever, struggle to find a career path because that's like, the thing again, all career path, career. Would you consider yourself now then going through what you've been through with school and having a few different jobs? Are you career oriented, or are you like, I'm just going to do what's right for me right now and we'll see where that takes us?
I think a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. When I was down bad, I was definitely like, okay, trying to weigh my options, but I still stayed.
About to hit the streets.
Screaming. But that's the thing.
You had the clientele at Westgate, I'm sure.
Man, driving to the West Side every morning was crazy. No
Walking
shade.
Dead out there.
No shade. But never again. I would not.
You saw Rick Grimes.
Too many crazy things at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sure.
Too many.
Listen, I saw one of the wildest. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one guy came into our job with his outfit on from the hospital. Like, you broke out.
He broke out of the hospitals on the West Side. Those are mental health hospitals.
Exactly.
Those aren't just regular hospitals.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. Anywho, what was the question?
I don't care.
Oriented.
Or career oriented.
Or am I happy where I'm at? I'm both. I had a lot of people tell me that I needed to be career oriented because I was willing to take a $10 pay for 3 years, all because I love them kids at Westgate. Mm-hmm. I was happy with them. They made me laugh. They made me smile. You know, I was cool. But my mom, like, I mean, I thought of sometimes too, like, dang, you finna take this pay forever? But it's like, I'm not gonna take it forever, but I'm also not gonna disregard the fact that I actually love what I'm doing. But I'm just fortunate. I've landed in a place where I can do both. You know, I love what I do. I used to youth, and I also am not mad at, you know, it from the career standpoint. So I think I'm just a little bit of both, and it's situational. Yeah. If I have to do something because it's like you need to get out of this situation, I would do that. But if I stay true to myself, I believe I'll never have to be in that position.
Right. Yeah. There's certain people that maybe haven't found themselves yet, and they end up really just working for others for the rest of their life. Now, I'm not talking about entrepreneurship. Like, you know, people don't understand. I've worked at Youth for 16 years, and people don't understand a lot of times why. A lot of people don't keep jobs for that long anymore, especially at a young age, right? Like, I started working at Youth when I was 19. And it's not that this is it was my career goal. I thought that I had to work here forever, but it's not that this is the end all be all. It's that I know myself, and it's not that I work. Okay. A lot of people is like, why don't you you're so good at all of these things. You could go do this on your own. You could you can do whatever you want by yourself, but they don't understand that even though I work for someone and for an organization, I feel like I've been working for myself for 16 years, because everything that I do, I'm obviously pouring into other people, but it's growing me at the same time. So I haven't hit a moment. I mean, there's been tough times at work, but I haven't hit a moment where I've ever felt like I'm working for the man, or that someone is controlling my space. And I think that's more so because I believe you can work here and also feel like why somebody's always telling me what to do or whatever. But I've never felt that, because I know I know me, you know? And I think the more you know and get to know who you are, the more you can own any space that you're in, whether it's your business, whether it's the place that you're working, whether it's Bath and Body Works on the weekends during Christmas to make some extra money, or like whatever, like you can own that space and not feel like trapped by where you're at.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be in.
It is. I feel like, you know, you've it's about a year. We're 2 years in at Youth. Yeah. This will be year 2. The end of this month.
Come on now. I'm racking them years up.
Them years. But yeah, a lot of what you're talking about right now is at Westgate, at Berwick, and it's not like that was a long time ago. No. So when you're talking about being down bad, it's not that the job is what made you not be down bad anymore. It's the mindset. Now, a new place, more money, whatever can help with that mindset. But you've also learned a lot. You know, we talk about being in relationships and in friendships. Like, these are the times where all those things happen. So the world seems to open up a little bit more with every year of your 20s that passes, if you're looking for it. So in your 20s, right, you talk about, I lost all my friends I lost all of my high school friends in my 20s. And pretty much. So you lose friends, you lose all these things, because balance, I think, is difficult. It's hard for everybody to now not show up at school and do whatever and go home. You're doing the same stuff. You're in the same, but now you're all doing your own things, and balance is difficult. How do you strike a balance between enjoying your youth, right? Like, and taking on like adult responsibilities? So going out, kicking it on a Thursday, but still having to be at work on a Friday or whatever. I'm not asking you that as your manager because that's never like, I mean, maybe I am because I've never noticed that you've had, you know, any of those moments because maybe you do balance it so well. How do you balance it so well? And are there like any memorable moments that encapsulate that spirit of like a balancing act of fun and getting things done?
Yeah. Like in my friend group, we all have, a few of us have somewhat similar jobs. I have some entrepreneur friends. I have some people who work in retail, whatever. And there was, at one point, I just started looking at life differently. You know, people be like, oh, what you trying to do this weekend? What you trying to do this weekend? I'm like, why y'all gotta wait till weekend? Like, why can't we go? Why can't we go now? Like, what's the problem? And I think that my job has a lot to do with it. It was like, I don't know what kind of hole their jobs have them under where they're like, my life sucks until Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we go to karaoke night on Wednesday? But another thing that my mom will always say, would say, like, I'm going to live every day like it's my birthday because I don't know if I'll make it to the next one. She don't literally live every day like it's her birthday, but just that mindset.
Mom be kicking it.
She be outside. But I ask my friends, like, if you think about it, if you only wait till the weekend to do something, it don't have to be nothing crazy, but if you wait till the weekend to enjoy your life, you're wasting so many of your days. I can get off of work, go somewhere and get up and go to work the next day, and it's nothing crazy. Like, but also I think me and my friends, as we've all grown into our own spaces, you know, some of those friends be like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm like, girl, work is busy for me too. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Just because you work in this field don't mean that mine isn't as taxing. Kids be calling me at 10 o'clock at night. Right. And I'm like, answer. You know, it's the same amount of stress. But what I think we started to do was, because your job is taxing and so is mine, and it's not always, oh, let's go do this, do that, but we became more intentional about, okay, well, you cook at your house this week, I'm going to come over, we going to sit inside the house and cook and talk, and you work on your thing, I'll work on mine, or do whatever, but just finding space and time to meet each other where we're all comfortable. So some nights we might go out and do karaoke, or some nights we might just sit in and talk about our goals, or we might be in the house doing TikToks. But I think I've found a group of friends that we all value quality time just the same.
No matter where it's at.
No matter where, you know, but we all understand, like, you don't have to leave my house. You could stay here and get up and go to work the next day, but your house is my house. It sounds like, girl, whatever, but no, we really love on each other that much, and we're so understanding. It's like, so many times where it's like, oh, you can just stay over here. Or Lyric is like, y'all know y'all can stay. Or I'll be like, girl, I gotta get up and go to work the next day. I ain't going home. I can stay here. It don't matter, you know? So I think we value quality time the same, but we also respect each other's work. And then it just works. But sometimes it might be like, girl, I ain't see you in a week. Girl, I've been busy. What's up? Now, sometimes it is hit me up on the weekend, girl. Mm-hmm. Especially, everybody know, Wednesday nights for me, don't call me.
Right.
I don't want to talk. I just want to go home. Right. Get in the shower.
Go home. Right.
And lay down. And read my book. I want quiet. I was just talking to people for 2 hours straight. Mm-hmm. Leave me alone.
Meanwhile, Kevin's like, you want to do this podcast after Common Ground on Wednesday?
But, you know, so we respect what we all do, but we also value time with one another. And like I said, we're just honest. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Or, yeah, we can. Or, I know we made them plans, but girl, I lied. Mm-hmm. I just lied. No, I don't want to do it.
Not today.
Not today.
That honesty. Let's talk about that.
Man.
Let's talk about.
Get you far.
Let's talk about being honest. So you lightly dabbled in the YouTuber, influencer, daily vlogger situation that I feel like all of our young people are now making that the career goal.
Right.
Because it's the new communication major.
Facts.
And whatever reason you decided maybe this is too much work at the moment or it wasn't for you, which was it? Because you're primed to fall into the I'm going to be an influencer trap, but you've currently avoided it. How?
The first time that I was corrected on my whole little social media thing, first, I used to be on, when I first started YouTube, my wigs were horrible. And I was like, you got to get that together. You can't be on here promoting hair. And
the ones you were wearing were bad.
Exactly. Your clothes look like the McDonald's sign. Sis, give it a break. Second time was, I want to say, it was sometime last year.
You ain't have no friends tell you that.
None.
They wasn't honest.
I was the
over
hairstylist.
They wasn't
so
telling
they thought
you.
I was eating. Like, Lonnie did it. Lonnie made her wig.
That must be what it's supposed to look like.
Or they just was letting us, like, I did just watch this video and it was like, why would y'all let me leave the house like that? But anywho, then the second time I was corrected, because what I realized was that there's no space for me on the internet in regards to, people always want to be like, oh, I'm real, right? But they still dress it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm going to make this caption. Everything's not super good, but you're still trying to make your caption look super good. And when I seen a lot of that around me, I was like, I don't even want to try to find my lane in this. Like, because y'all still getting on here trying to act like y'all telling the truth, but y'all still trying to dress it up to make it look cute or aesthetically pleasing. And I just wasn't in the space for that because I was going through a wrecking, like in my own life where stuff wasn't pretty. I didn't go through a lot of traumatic things in life, but it was starting to get ugly. And I'm like, where can I go to share this? Nowhere, because it's not fake.
That's not what the internet is currently. That's not what it is today.
You still got to dress it up. It still got to be a cute picture. You can't post a real caption with an ugly picture or vice versa. So I'm like, you know what? I'm cool on it.
You can on Be Real.
I try to be real. I used to get mad because I didn't have enough pictures of everybody else. I didn't post enough.
Yeah. It's tough. Be Real only catches me when I'm on a toilet.
Bro, what?
I swear. I told my friend that the other day. I'm like,
Yo,
why every
hilarious.
time I'm on the toilet, Be Real talking about you got 2 minutes?
Because it's the same time.
I poop the same time every day, apparently. And it telling me you got 2 minutes, and I got at least 19.
You should do that.
I got at least 16 minutes left on here.
You should take your pictures every day on the toilet.
Definitely shouldn't. Just staring at
that would be hilarious.
every day. I swear, every day. That's where it's at.
That's so funny.
People gonna think I'm running in there to take the picture.
On life, yeah. Like,
No.
yo, he's weird. Carly introduced me to that app at conference.
Yeah. I only have 3 friends on there.
Yeah,
She's
and
one of them.
But it's weird. Also, like, who do you want to see that too? Too many kids be trying to follow me on everything. No, that's why.
I love the idea and the concept of it. I don't like.
You about to make me download it again?
I haven't successfully done it, but I do have friends that every day like does it. I mean, it's like the new Snapchat without the new needs for everything to be perfect. Like Instagram is the perfect app now. Mm-hmm. Everything you do has to be this or be that or filtered or whatever. So I love the idea of the realness and the honesty that comes along with that, and with you not being able to share that realness and whatnot on Instagram or through social media, but having a pull to do it. You're still pulled to do it. Let's talk a little bit about honest here. Because we're going to be real. It's coming. And this is about the time where, we're obviously recording this a little bit earlier, but when this comes out, it might come out on February 3rd. It might come out. We'll see. So what is honest here? Tell me about it.
So Honest Here is the name of a journal that I want to get out into the world just so that people have a space to freely write their thoughts. That's one thing I noticed about me was like, you talked about earlier, you asked me, how do people receive me, or how do I make it to where people could, feel good while I still talk to them? Mm-hmm. But one thing for me that journaling gave me was like, no interruptions. You're not wrong. You're not too loud. You're not too aggressive. You're not being too straight to the point. I realized it was literally the only place that I could be honest, because you have to sometimes fix this or say it this way. And so once I realized that, I was like, okay, cool. I want to, make me a little journal. Cool. Boom. But, to the point that people aren't making real connections nowadays, and they're also still based on what looks good. They're not based on real thoughts, feelings, morals, or whatever. Honest Here is also a community that I want to, cultivate for young adults who want to make connections and want to be able to share their honest thoughts in a safe space that create relationships with other people, so that the foundations to the relationships to come are just real. Like, I met you because we had the same experience, or I met you because we disagreed, but then we found common ground. So that's really what it is. And I'm excited. It means a lot to me, just because a lot of people who know me as the person that's going to say it. Like, I'm going to say it. I might have to tweak away, but I'm going to tell you what's real and what's not. And I think that our community needs that for healing, for growth, and for fun. Like, all of this is just, it's horrible. It's fake. It's turned into just what it doesn't need to be. And so that's really what Honest Here is. It's a community, but also a place for people to experience the same safety that I had in journaling, just being real.
I love it. What inspired? So you talked about the journaling aspect and why it meant something to you. How did that transition into, I want to make a community out of this? Like, how is it the first thought of like, oh, I want to do this journal and I want to put that into the world. Wait, well, more people need this. I want to do this thing. How did you get to, I'm going to spend my own money. I'm going to do this. We're going to have an event. I'm going to create and cultivate something for this city.
Yeah. I like hosting, but there was one specific night I had this little girls' night at my house. I had some questions. We watched the podcast, and I invited my homegirls, but I got homegirls from Pandora, from Eastmore, from wherever. Excuse me. And I want to share this without sharing too much of our story, but basically one of my homegirls came, and we were all talking, and a lot of people get intimidated by my friend group. Like, people come in and they think that because these girls that they can't share stuff. So I basically had that night, and the girl came in and she just shared about how one day she was going through something. She was about to go do something real horrible. And I called her, and she shared that at my house that night. And she basically was like, Aloni, you make me feel safe enough to say this in this space. And then my friend would just reassure me, like, Aloni, I can talk to you. And I'm like, if y'all can talk to me, if I can create a space that's easy, that's comfortable, that's safe. When I was just thinking of Honest Here, I'm like, I know that I can create this atmosphere.
Yeah. Just
because of off the strength of who I am. Like, I'm not about to be like, oh, I invited you because this. I invited you because I see you on Instagram and I think you cool. Like, I want to hear what you have to say about certain things. But multiple times it's been spoken to me that I create those spaces, and I believe that I do. And I mean, a journal you keep to yourself, which is cool, but eventually those thoughts, because they're true, they deserve to be shared. Like, I do think that people should value what they believe is true, whether people agree or disagree or don't understand. And I want people, I think the most important thing for me was like everything that I read in all my journals, it's come out in some way, shape, or form.
Right, whether in a good way or bad way.
But I think that after you write it and it's real, somebody got to hear it to comfort you, to agree with you, to question you, because that's not bad. Like, being questioned is not negative.
Yeah.
People always think that. So that's really why. That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So 2024 is the year of Honest Here.
Man.
Coming up. invite only situation for the first event in February, and then opening up to the world in,
soon
March,
after.
April, very soon after.
Yeah.
You can buy your ticket at www. No, we ain't there yet. We ain't got that to promote yet.
Woo! It's coming. It's gonna be Instagram page popping up somewhere sometime soon.
Instagram page pretty soon,
Mm-hmm.
and is
period.
Well, I'm excited for that. Especially if you can get the normal fellas in there too. That is get some men in there.
Oh yeah, I definitely want men in there. I need their strong presence.
Like men and women, there are plenty of spaces that are men's groups and men's this and men's that, and obviously women have all of their spaces, but to mix the barbershop talk and the salon talk,
that's a theme for one of my nights. It's like, what do y'all be talking about the barbershop?
Yes.
What do we talk about the hair salon, and how can we understand? That's so crazy that you said that. That's really a topic. I wrote it down.
I do this too
Gonna be
sometimes.
fire.
Well, I'm excited to see that grow and watch what you do with it, because again, everything you touch except that YouTube channel is just up. So, I bet if you did that now and could dedicate the time to it, everything.
Yeah.
Because it's not, man, people watch the craziest stuff on YouTube and the craziest people.
Facts.
On what they do, but they're drawn to the person. And I think so many people are and will be drawn to you, and people are nosy too, so they're gonna want to come see what you're doing.
They're not gonna get no tea.
And I'm excited for it. So I do very much appreciate you jumping on here and creating a road. If you see Aloni out and about at Noir, or in the world, at brunch, at all
Catch me at brunch. Man, I wish Marvin's was still open.
Yeah, you could go speak to Aloni.
If you see me and you trying to say what's up, just say what's up.
Just say what's up. Don't be weird.
Don't be weird. I'm real nice. But that's so crazy.
Yeah, after Honest here, they going straight to Noir.
No, we going home. We kicking inside. I'm done with them. The DJs. Buns.
Yeah. Sorry, Baron.
Not him though.
Yikes.
But thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I feel honored. I think you only reach out to people who actually have something to offer. So anytime you ask me for anything, I try to do my best, and I be valued. Thank you.
I value you. You're welcome. My goal is to do 104 of these episodes. So
that's fire.
It might be that might have to change on people who I reach out to. It might just have to be some people that I'm not too highly fond of.
Oh,
but
God. That would be tea.
We'll see.
Some table talks on here.
Table talk, yeah.
Hash it out.
Yeah, I don't know if they're ready for that. We open with realness and we close with realness. We'll see. Bye.
Bye.